summer is here. Today I have a proper treat for you. I have gathered 14 beautiful knitted and crochet patterns for sport weight yarn, for crocheting or knitting a top that you can absolutely make in time for the season. So if you've been looking for the perfect pattern for a lovely, quick summer top, then look no further. Let's get started. Loki. So summer is here. We actually here in the UK have a heat wave starting from today. We're gonna reach 30-31 degrees over the weekend and the beginning of next week, and I can't wait. So today already I got out my summer dresses, I got out my summer yarn, and I thought I'd share with you some beautiful summer patterns. What better occasions than today? If you've been following me for a while, you will know that I recently purchased, just a couple of months ago, some more cotton bamboo yarn. Is a Rosario's Falesia that I purchased at Yarns You Like, and I love that yarn. I've used it already in the past, and I got this beautiful red and a little bit of leftover from when I previously used it, and I decided I wanted absolutely to make another summer top with it. And I want it to be a summer top that is quick to make, so I can make it in time for the season, and it is a top that I can use any day, that goes with everything, so simple and special at the same time. So I started looking for it, and I went, obviously as I do, I went down a rabbit hole. I found so many beautiful patterns, and I tried to narrow it down to patterns for a top that can be literally used every day, that can be easily integrated in my daily wardrobe, so be worn with normal trousers or skirts without it having to feel too fancy or too crafty, that maybe I want to keep it for when I go to meet like-minded people at a knitting fair. I focused also on patterns that are specifically written for sport yarn, so 5-ply sport weight yarn, because this is the weight of my yarn, so my cotton bamboo yarn, and also I think it's a really nice weight for summer. And I decided to have a collection with this weight or with patterns that I really feel that can be adapted easily to be used with this weight of yarn, because I really feel that is a little bit underrated compared to patterns with other weight of yarn. I did a little search of how many patterns for tops have been specifically written for fingering weight, sport weight and DK yarn, and actually, as expected, sport weight was the one with the least amount of patterns. So I really gathered the best, the ones that I really liked most myself according to my criteria, and I got a few that are either fingering and DK, just to show that if you swatch or if you know how to adapt your gauge for the pattern, that can also be used either way, because sport weight is really in between fingering and DK. It's thin enough to pass as a thicker fingering weight, and it has a little bit more of substance to kind of being able to support the construction of patterns that have been created for DK yarn. But yeah, I feel like if you're able to meet gauge with sport yarn, it really hits that sweet spot for early summer. A day like today would be lovely. It's quite windy today, so I think something in sport weight would be so lovely to wear. It says mention. Without further ado, we are gonna start with the pattern now. There are 14 patterns. It's a good mix between knitting and crochet. Pattern number 1 is the Nuance Tee by Julia Piro. This pattern has just been published in April 2026, so it's really new. It's quite a new find. I'm quite excited about it. It already has 122 projects, so it's actually quite popular already. And this actually calls for a DK yarn and for a linen blend. So it calls for like drop spell or Sandnes Garn linen. But cotton and whisk, I really feel that, and I've used drop spell, it was 2 years ago, to make a crochet dress for my friend, a beach crochet dress in black for my friend. It was quite enjoyable. However, there is some toughness on your hands when you crochet with linen that made it a little bit, it's probably very enjoyable to wear. It was not as enjoyable to make somehow, because I really felt it a little bit tough on my hands, whereas cotton and bamboo really feels nice both to wear and to use it while you crochet, which I think is also important. So I really think that definitely the stitch definition is going to be really good with cotton viscose. It has a little bit of a shine probably, and also I think if you're able to mid gauge, it should be fine for this type of pattern. This one retails for $8.50 US, and it is a beginner pick for my knitting section, and the construction is seamless top down, and it has a simple circular yoke and a really pretty mesh stitch detail. And this, I feel it has just enough visual interest without it becoming too complicated or too complex to make, and it has minimal shaping, and the designer themselves say that this is perfect for some adventurous beginners. So just get into it if you are a beginner, and it should be interesting enough if you're a little bit more experienced. It is available in 5 languages, and there is also a YouTube video to accompany you while you're knitting it, and it is available in 11 sizes from XXS to 6XL, and is designed with approximately 0 to 10 centimeter positive ease, and you will need between 250 and 400 grams of yarn. So what I particularly love about this one is that the mesh stitch really lets the yarn shine, especially if you're using a cotton bamboo. And I will be talking a lot about cotton bamboo here, because this is the yarn that I'm literally using this list as my shopping list for what I want to make with that yarn. So sorry if maybe you don't care about cotton bamboo, but I will be referring to it constantly. But this is in general is the list that is perfect for any sport weight yarn. But yeah, I really feel that this mesh stitch is gonna really make your cotton bamboo shine really nicely. And then of course, natural drape of cotton bamboo is something that I really love, and it washes really well. Okay, I'll stop talking about cotton bamboo. Let's move on to pattern number 2. Pattern number 2 is the Sailor Swift top by Veronica Lindberg, which is Kutowa Kika, also on YouTube. This was launched in June 2023, and it retails for €6.50, and is available in 3 languages, and you will need between 271 and 560 meters of fingering 4-ply. So fingering 4-ply again is lighter weight, but I did say that I included this because I just wanted, I think you can easily mid gauge with sport weight for fingering yarn, so you can keep into account this pattern too. Of course, if you mid gauge, you keep into account that you will probably need a little bit more yarn, obviously, because it is just a tiny bit thicker than fingering weight. However, this is available in sizes between XS and 5XL, and there is also a video tutorial on YouTube from Kutowa Kika. So it's a striped racerback tongue, reading from the description, and is worked top down in stockinette. Again, no seaming if you don't like that. And it has the most gorgeous, I am really in love with the I-cord lately, so it really has the most gorgeous little I-cord detail around the neckline and the armholes. And I really think, especially with some sort of yarn, like maybe it can be summer yarns or plant-based yarns that are so drapey, that sometimes you really want something that kind of holds it together a little bit, especially in points like your armholes or your neckline. I think that's a really good detail. It's not just beautiful, but it's also a clever construction detail to be added. The slight racerback shape makes it really flattering and wearable. So I think the how's it called, the racerback shape really makes it wearable, but also easy to adjust to your daily outfits. There's these little details that make it really polished, but at the same time is something that you can wear every day. And also you can make it striped. I really like the striped sample that she's wearing, so that is what I'm attracted to, especially the stripes. And I think the stripes work particularly well for the cotton bamboo that I have, because it's gonna look really good in those stripes. It's really nice and crisp, crisp stitches definition with the viscose, especially with the viscose bamboo bit. So compared to the previous one, this one is a little bit slightly skilled construction. You can still do it as an adventurous beginner or maybe as an intermediate knitter, because it has, so it starts, let me just see the construction. You start knitting the back flat, then you have to pick up the stitches for both fronts, and then you join all stitches in the round for the body. You finish it off by picking up the stitches around the neckline and armholes for the I-cord bind off edge. So yeah, it is not complicated, but if you've never done that, it is a challenge to learn something new, which is always good. I always like that. So I think as an adventurous beginner, you should be fine with it. There's also the YouTube video to help, so don't forget that. It can be really useful if you get stuck maybe at some points of the pattern. Let's go to pattern number 3. Pattern number 3 is a Tuileries Polo by Sumin Kim. Apologies if I pronounce it wrong. I try to do my best. This one, it's a polo, so it feels a little bit different, but I have more, I think I have more than one polo. Anyway, more than one with a little bit of a polo neck. I really like that look, especially because I'm thinking about, as I said at the beginning, how to incorporate things that I make to my daily wardrobe, and maybe to use them also to go to the office now that I have to go more to the office. So I want that to be part of my wardrobe, not something else that I only wear for specific occasions. So I want it to be able to be used like literally every day. The construction has this classic placket in the front with 3 buttons, as all classic polos have, and this really, it gives a really more polished, classic, neat, crisp kind of look, which I really like. And I think again, sport weight because of its thickness, and especially with the viscose, the shine of the viscose bamboo. Something fell. With the shine of the viscose bamboo, it really, yeah, it just goes perfectly with it. And also I've seen, like, looking, I like to follow the, Lucky, I like to follow the, obviously I do like clothes, so I do like to follow high street companies, and especially when the new collections come out, I really like to see what's new this year. Do I have it in my wardrobe already? What are the colors? What are the cuts, the fabrics, the textures? So I really think in the last couple of years, especially for summer, but for winter, we're not there yet, but I think we will. So especially for summer, I've seen a lot of polo necks, especially with short sleeves, but also sleeveless, and maybe shirt type of dresses also. So this type of look has been coming back again and again. I've seen a lot of it, really a lot of it. So I really think, I'm sorry, I gave a treat to Loki and she's crunching on it now. So really, yes, so I've seen a lot of it, and I really like to be able to recreate that look myself through my knitting. So I think that is very much in trend. But don't let that put you off. Don't let the neckline, the button band put you off. I don't think it's too complicated to make. Again, as an adventurous beginner, I'm sure you can do anything. Actually, apparently, according to the designer, the pattern for that is fairly simple, easy to memorize, repeat. And once you've got the rhythm of it, you should be fine. So this one retails for €8.50. It was published in June 2024. So almost 2 years, and actually calls for sport yarn. So this is specifically being written for sport yarns. You will need between 890 and 1,295 meters to make one of the 6 sizes available. It's available in 7 languages. That's a lot and impressive. So the pattern also includes charts, so it's a very good opportunity to include something new if you haven't used charts yet. And often it is also good to have the additional things. So some people prefer one mean of delivery of the pattern, other people prefer the other. So it's good, this is gonna be accessible, I think, for people who prefer charts maybe. And it is knitted top down. One thing to be mindful, sorry, that I forgot to mention earlier, is that it is written for sport yarn, so you should be fine when you mid-gauge, etc. However, when you're swatching for it and when you're selecting your yarn, just be mindful that this has not been written for a cotton bamboo. It has been written for a cotton merino yarn, so 70% merino and 30% cotton. So of course, we all know merino has a fair good amount of memory and elasticity, which plant-based yarns usually don't have. So this is, you still have some cotton in there, but there's quite a bit of memory that is given to it by the 70% of merino. So when you swatch for it and you select your yarn, you have to be mindful of that. So consider especially the instructions on ease very, very carefully, because ease works in a very different way between merino and fully plant-based yarn. Once you've carefully swatched and you maybe blocked your swatch, in this case I really recommend you do that, then you should be ready to go. But yeah, so I suppose here where you need a little bit more experience is not as much in the construction that can be learned, but really you need a little bit of a more expert eye if you decide to change the type of the composition of the yarn. So from, if you're working with cotton merino, then you will be fine, but if you're switching to a fully plant-based type of yarn, you need a little bit of experience there, at least to know how that behaves compared to the merino and be able to adjust for the gap there in the behavior. And now pattern number 4. This is the Bon Bon Cardi by Mi Ear Knits. This retails for €8 and also calls for a sport for 5-ply in cotton merino. So the same type of caution that I talked about just now applies to this particular pattern too. I'm not gonna talk about it again, just be mindful, swatch, etc, etc, what I've just said. So it was published in June 2025, so less than a year ago, and you will need between 1110 and 1665 meters, and it is available in 6 sizes and 2 languages. So I think you need a little bit more yarn for this one, but I think it is worth it. It looks really lovely. I really like the look of this one too, and it is the first cardigan of the episode. I think I don't know if I have 1 or 2 more, surely one, at least one more. And I think every summer knitting list needs at least 1 cardigan, even if short sleeves, which is why I've added them. It is something that you can throw on a dress anytime, but can also be used with your trousers or jeans or a skirt by itself. So I think it's, yes, it's a really, probably one of the most versatile things you can knit or crochet. This one in particular is a V-neck lace cardigan, and it has little eyelet motifs throughout, and it is slightly cropped and worked top down. And also I really like this one because it has this really lovely, really pretty lace edging, which kind of finishes it off and gives it a really lovely feminine look. That's why I really think this is perfect for flowy dresses, like summer dresses, like with ditsy daisies, like maybe with like the one I'm wearing. So yes, it will go with everything, and I love this one. This is one of the others that are probably in my list. I don't think I have enough yarn for this one in this particular moment, so this will not be used probably with my Rosario Sfalesia, but this definitely stays in my favorites for sure. Pattern number 5 is the Amedeo Blouse 2.0 by Colibri by Joanna. This, I don't know, I looked at this and I was like, wow, I want to make this. It retails for €6.99 and it was first published in June 2021. It currently has 8 sizes from XS to 4XL. It is supposed to be worn with a slight positive ease of up to 5 centimeters, so not too much. And it's available in English and German, so 2 languages. You will need between 560 and 700 meters of yarn. And it also comes with charts as well as instructions. And these, so officially this one calls for fingering weight. However, and actually, yes, specifically knitting for olive pure silk, which I have never used, but I will at some point. can't wait to use it. It's a kind of a pattern where a sport weight, a fine sport weight, especially plant-based, like cotton viscose, cotton bamboo, would work really well, because like silk, yes, it's fine, but I've obviously I've seen it, I've touched it in some shops, but it, yes, it has a little bit of thickness, so for a fingering weight. So I really think that it is easy to be substituted with a sport weight cotton bamboo. Careful swatching as always. What really made me fall in love with this particular pattern, what makes it really special, is that a lovely lace pattern in a diagonal, which again is a lace pattern without it being too much. I can see that even if you make it in silk, something that you can wear any day of the week for any occasion, and with different type of outfits. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's luxurious enough to be elevated, but it's also lovely and simple enough to be worn with jeans, even jeans and a pair of Birkenstock a day like today. Wow, would be lovely. I almost feel like it has this almost art deco type of look with this diagonal lace, very, you know, lines defined that go in a very geometrical way. And I do love art deco prints, I do love art deco in general, so of course I love this pattern. Even if it's lace, the designer describes this as a beginner pattern, so it's beginner friendly, and as a beginner you might have never done lace. This is actually simple enough for you to be able to start trying lace, so try it. I love doing lace. I don't do enough lace as of now, but I will do more. I would love to do more. Currently, you know, I have lots of things going on. You do need a little bit more focus for doing lace, but I love it when I do it. And this is something actually that is simple enough, because it has lots of repetition. Once you've mastered the repetition, then you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be flying. You're gonna make 10 of these even. So for the construction, it is worked flat bottom up in one piece, which is slightly different from the seamless top-down pattern. So again, this might be a new construction for you if you're a beginner, but I do like it because I think it gives it a little bit more, I don't know, more structure maybe. There is one seam at the shoulder, and you can decide if you want to do mattress stitch or 3-needle bind off. I personally love the 3-needle bind off, especially on the shoulder. I think it's stronger and easier to make, no fuss, and you know it's gonna hold. So my recommendation, use the 3 needles bind off, especially with a plant-based yarn. This is my advice. And you will need buttons for this, because it's a cardigan style. It has a button band, so you can have fun. You can choose some lovely art deco buttons, or maybe some just plain ones if you want a more understated look. You can play with this so much. Oh my god, I love this pattern. Pattern number 6. This is the Freestyle Shirt by Susanne Müller, and yes, this is another one actually that excited me for completely different reason than the previous one. This is a proper t-shirt, and oh my god, I love it. I love to wear t-shirts, and I would love to wear a t-shirt that I myself made. So this actually, yes, is another one that has gone in my queue, and this is also designed especially for sport weight. So it's something that I actually am really considering for my Rosario Sfalesia. Again, I'm not sure if I have enough. I really need to do the calculations, but maybe I might. It retails for €5.46, and it was published in June 2024. It has more than 400 projects on Ravelry. Plenty of examples and inspiration you can look from. It is available in 3 languages, and it comes in 6 sizes from XS to XXL. You will need between 800 and 1,400 meters depending on your size and whether you go plain or striped, obviously. And then yeah, you need to manage the balance there. If I do it, I might do it striped. Construction is seamless top-down raglan with short sleeves. I love the short sleeves on this. They look so cute. It is a straightforward, satisfying knitting. Is something that really you can do it while you're watching TV, so it could be a good break from the lace from the previous one if you decide to do them both. It is fairly beginners friendly. However, again, you have a new technique here. I always cater for you learning new techniques if you have never done before. If you have it, again, it's something challenging maybe. So you're gonna have German short rows here. So I think, to be honest, maybe I don't particularly enjoy doing them because it needs lots of concentration to not do mistakes, but I do love when a pattern actually has German short rows because it means that it's gonna fit my upper parts really well. So yeah, I appreciate when a designer adds this detail into their pattern. It has left and right leaning decreases, no, sorry, left and right leaning increases, and it is explained really nicely. I think I have one pattern from her at some point. I bought a pattern from her. I don't think I haven't done it yet. I have a pattern from her. I think her patterns are really well written, so don't worry about that. It's gonna be okay. As mentioned, there's a striped option, so you can blend the stripes as you want. And again, if you have more than one yarn like me that you want to put together in stripes, this is gonna be perfect for it. And it has a recommended positive ease of 5 to 7 centimeters, again not too much, but the designer also notes that it looks great with a 10 to 12 centimeter ease for a more oversized feel. So it's kind of up to you if you want more or less ease, and select the size accordingly. And yes, I have made myself a note to use Rosarius Falesia for this, so we will see. I'm not telling you which one I chose because I haven't chosen yet, but I need to choose because I want to make something for this weather, so it will have to happen fairly soon. Pattern 7. This is actually a double one, so there's a little bit of an extra in this pattern. It's Darjeeling Top and Darjeeling Blouse, so they're both by Trust the Mojo. So I'm actually giving you two of these options because one of them is a cropped sleeveless top and the other one has is a blouse, so it has sleeves. So it is very similar design, basically the same design adapted for the two of them. There are two different patterns, so you will have to buy the two patterns if you want both, but I think it is actually lovely to have the option, depending on which one you prefer for yourself, to do the sleeveless one or the sleeved one. Both patterns are knitted in sport weight and both retail for £8, so £8 each. And they both come in 8 sizes from XS to 4XL, and they both use the same suggested yarn, the Katia Cotton Cashmere, which is 90% cotton and 10% cashmere goat. And this, to be honest, this sounds lovely. Again, like the cotton merino, keep into mind, but this is only 10% cashmere, 90% cotton, so I don't think it's gonna be too much of a trouble to switch to cotton bamboo here. I think it should be fine. But the cotton cashmere sounds lovely. I've never tried it actually. Have you ever tried it? Let me know if you have. So yeah, it feels like there's a little bit of extra luxury in here because of the cashmere. So yeah, maybe you can swap it for silk if you want a more summery feel, but I mean 10% should be fine. Darjeeling Top itself was published in June 2023. It has 303 projects, so again, plenty of examples. You can go, I don't know if you use it like that, but when there are lots of projects especially, I like to go and look at the projects to see which yarn they have used, if they have any notes about it, and the final look of it. And then I decide if the yarn I have is okay for this pattern, if I want to risk it or not, or I can decide which yarn from my stash, if I have a particular yarn in mind, I can use. I think it's a really good way to use the tool that Ravelry is. This is the top, so this is the sleeveless one. This is sleeveless top worked flat from the bottom up, and its signature feature is gorgeous double picot, and I think that is so lovely. That is really what I like about this one, the picot hem at the bottom, and then it has an I-cord edge again around the armhole and the neckline, which, as I said already, I love the look of it, so there's nothing that I don't like about this pattern really. Finishing details, really, I always think that the finishings really make or break what you're making, and this really makes it. It also has buttonholes along the front right edge, again adds another detail. You can pick the So I think someone is playing the flute. I'm really sorry for this very annoying noise, but we are in this together because I'm here and I can hear it in my living room. I'm really sorry for it. I can't control it. There's nothing I can do about it. I hope they finish practicing soon. So I was talking about the buttons again. You can choose the buttons that you want. There are 3 length options actually: cropped, mid-length or long. And so this really, you know, it can work with your body and with your preference. And you will need between 450 and 900 meters depending on your size and also the length that you choose for it. The designer rates this as intermediate to advanced. So maybe this is not exactly for the beginners, so this is for you, the more advanced people, crafters. And yes, you have double picot hem and the cast on. However, apparently that's the hardest part of it. So I mean, you can always try it if you're not advanced, but yeah, this is definitely something for the more experienced knitter. The Darjeeling Blouse was published a month later in July 2023, and it is like kind of a level up somehow. With the sleeves, it has 448 projects, so again, very similar amount. You have a little bit more involved construction happening here. You need the body and the sleeves separately, bottom up, then join them all together using a bottom-up contiguous method to shape setting sleeves and bias shoulders. So I had to read this through because I've never done this, so I can't really comment on that. It does sound complex. To me because I've never done it. It is a bit complex, so this is definitely something for the more experienced knitters. But again, there are detailed instructions, video tutorials, so you can be accompanied through the journey of making this blouse. Both patterns are available in English and French, so 2 languages, and apparently lots of people actually have made both. So they make one, they loved it so much that then they come back and they get the other pattern. That's why I also combine them in the same point, in the same spot. But now it's time to move on to pattern number 8. This is a crochet pattern, the Lacy Summer top by Wanipa Juncker, who is knit crow addict. This I can say, so this is my first crochet pattern of the episode, I think. Yeah, this I am currently making, not with the Rosares Falesia. I'm making it with my, if you've seen my latest podcast, the April wrap-up, I am currently making it with my crochet clubs, my little group at work of my crochet students who are now quite, you know, advanced intermediate somehow. And yes, this is what we're making, and this is also sport weight bamboo cotton yarn. We're using Viking yarn though, Viking cotton bamboo I think it's called, and we've got lovely colors, all the different colors, and yes, it's quite enjoyable. We are still at the beginning, but I will update you throughout the year when we progress this. This pattern was published in July 2019, and so it is available for free on the blog of the designer. You can also get the ad-free version as a PDF paid for, which retails for $5 US, and I think it also has a video, so you can watch. So the PDF has a 10-page written pattern, photo tutorial, and a link to a video tutorial which covers everything. But there is also a YouTube video for it from the designer, which I think maybe I haven't watched it, but I think some of my students have, and I think it explains you maybe the most complicated parts of it. Yeah, as I said, it's a sport weight and it calls for a 4mm hook. Actually, I had to go down with 3.75 after I swatched. Now I'm doubting myself because I feel like, what if it's not, you know, if it doesn't have enough ease after. So I've done 2 repetitions, so I don't know, I might unravel it. I hope not. I will see. So sizes range from XS to XXL, and it's available in English. This is a slightly different construction from what we saw today. This is knitted in in 2 pieces, flat and then seamed together. and so you do this rectangle that then opens up and does the oversized kind of sleeves. It has like, I think, a elbow length type of sleeve, but it's a lovely lace. It's not too difficult. Once you have mastered the puff stitches, then it's fine. It's actually quite nice, and it crochet up really quickly because it's very lacy, so you skip a lot of stitches to do your lace. So yeah, loving it. Suggested yarn is a baby cotton, which is sport weight cotton acrylic blend. We chose bamboo cotton blend, so slightly different, but it is working out fine. The pattern number 9 is the Rosemary Shirt by Leila Arapi. This is actually really new. Quite excited about it. It was published just now, just in May 2026, so it's like literally days old. And at the time of filming, today is, what day is it? 22nd, 23rd of May. It has 60 projects already on Ravelry, and I think it's really good. It retails for €7. Comes in 6 sizes from XS to 2XL and is available in English and Italian. You will need between 740 and 1320 meters depending on your size and length choice, because you can adapt, as always, the length. This is our second crochet pattern, and yes, so what I really love about this is the construction is really clever because it's worked sideways. I always love a sideways construction. Actually, there's something about it that makes it, I don't know, makes it really interesting for me. The drape and the look of it is really different from anything else we've seen today. So you crochet separately front and back, and then you join them. And actually the join, yes, is a decorative crochet seam at the shoulder and at the sides, and the neckline gets a lovely crocheted ribbed edge. So you got a lovely finishing touch. So there's also a little extra detail that I particularly like. You have the option to add about 6 to 8 buttons, so that makes it more of a like a polo type of look, or you can leave it without the buttons, which makes it look a little bit more like a tee or t-shirt look. That's your choice. So you can personalize, again, you can personalize it choosing the buttons or no buttons and the type of buttons you want for it. I love it. It has 2 lengths, short or long, so again, it can fit your needs, it can fit your body. I love when they are very customizable in this way. This is perfect. The suggested yarns are both cotton or cotton viscose blend in sport weight, so my Rosarios would be perfect for this actually. So it's they suggest drop saffron, which is 100% Egyptian cotton, and performance cotton does 60% cotton and 40% viscose. So yes, I think my Rosarios would be a great fit for this. This also has written instructions in the pattern and multiple video tutorials for the trickiest steps. Pattern 10 is Top Sole by Mochi Knits. So this is another one that I really like. This pattern retails for €8, was published in January 2023, has 789 projects, so quite a lot on Ravelry, and it comes in 5 sizes from XS to XL. It's available in English and Spanish, and you will need between 560 and 800 meters of yarn. The pattern includes charts, schematics, and video support. This pattern is technically a DK pattern, but as we said, this is designed for 100% linen. As I said before, something like Drops Bell, I know it's not 100% linen, but because of the behavior of linen, I really think you can get away with a cotton bamboo sports yarn. As always, swatch, measure your gauge, consider that. The fact that the silhouette is a boxy, relaxed silhouette, I think is slightly, you can get away a little bit more with substituting with a different weight yarn, even if it's just a subtle difference. So yes, I really think I really like this, and this is another one of those that I really envision wearing with a dress, or just by itself, or maybe just a small top underneath with maybe some trousers, some linen trousers, I don't know, yeah, or maybe a flowy skirt. I really like this one, and I think it can be dressed up or down again, but it can look incredibly chic. This is another one that is really on trend as a shape, as a finishing touches, and it can really complete a modern look if this is what you're going for. So this is considered as rated as intermediate. You've got short rows, I think, so there's a little bit of construction there, but I don't think it should be too difficult. So it can be, I think even an adventurous advanced beginner could do that. Pattern 11, basic top by Leila Arapi. Again, I don't know, I really like this one too. This is actually another one of the very new ones. This was just published now in May 2026, just days old, and it already has 42 projects. It retails for €7, comes in 6 sizes from XS to 2XL, and is available in English, Italian and Spanish. And you will need between 540 and 900 meters depending on the size you choose. Again, is another technically DK pattern, so you might get away actually if you have a little bit less yarn if you use the sport yarn. She suggests cotton yarns for it. Again, I think you can get away with the sport yarn. Design is beautifully simple, sleeveless, boat neck, loose fit, rounded edges, stripes. I mean, what's not to like? Anyway, it's worked top down in back and forth rows, and all the edges are so neatly finished with a neat slip stitch edge, which I think it finishes it really nicely. This one is definitely perfect for beginners, so if you're a beginner crochet, give this a try, you might like it. It includes both written instructions and video tutorials, so you will have everything you need. And yes, as I mentioned, I particularly like the striped option, which might work particularly well for my yarn. So yes, this already has the note, is one of the ones shortlisted for my Rosaris Falesia. We are almost there. Now we've got only 3 more to go. Pattern 12 is the Summer Crunch Cardigan by Blue Squirrel Hume. This is a little bit of a hidden gem. This is a little bit special. It's very different. I'm very excited to include it. This is another one that I think I put in my finalists. I don't think it's gonna work in the way I want to use my Falesia because I have 2 colors. I want to stripe them, but this, I don't want to stripe this one. I think this one looks better in solid single color, so I will have to hold on, but I really like this one. I really like this one. So it's a Summer Crunch Cardigan. It's a sport weight knitting pattern, so sport weight, perfect. And it was published in May 2024, retailing for $7 and available in English and Korean, 2 languages. It comes in 5 sizes, so not super size inclusive, but I liked it. I really liked it. I really had to include it. So from XS to XL. You will need between 750 and 1200 meters of yarn. The name kind of tells you everything. So the whole design is built around this texture of the fabric, like a little crunch top. So there's a grid stitch pattern that creates a beautiful subtly textured fabric with little windows of open work throughout. And according to the designer, let me read you this. There's a clever part. So the designer explains that the angular grid pattern actually reduces how much fabric touches your skin while wearing it, which makes it genuinely cooler to wear in summer. So because of this grid crunch pattern, not all fabric touches your skin at all times. It's only small parts of it, so really very airy, lots of airflow in there, which I love. I like this concept. It really makes it not just super pretty, but also through your construction, through your knitting, it makes it really practical with a real purpose behind it, behind this particular stitch pattern. And I love this concept, so this is definitely in my shortlist. But yeah, not for the Rosario Falesia, I think, but it will stay in my wish list for sure. So a little bit more about the construction. It's worked top down, but not in the usual seamless all at once way. The back panel is knitted first, then stitches are picked up from the shoulders for the front panels, and then front and back are connected using the backward loop method to knit down to the desired length. The bottom band is worked using a double knitting technique, which I've never done, but it gives it such a nice finish, doesn't it? And the neckline is finished with an I-cord edge. You know, I love an I-cord edge. The sleeves are then picked up from the armhole and worked in the round. So there's a bit going on here. There's a little bit of advanced technique. This is definitely more for the advanced intermediate, advanced, more experienced knitters for sure. But I love the look of it, so I'm sure it's worth it. So I've rated this as an adventurous intermediate, that's how I call it. So the grid stitch itself is very achievable once you've got the repeat, but the construction is a bit complex. But that also makes it nice and structured, doesn't it? Oh, I love this pattern. The designer recommends wearing it with up to 5 centimeters of positive ease, styled tucked into trousers or a skirt. Number 13, Road Trip Tank by K Crochet. So this is a sport weight crochet pattern again, published in April 2022. It retails for just $4 for US dollars. And it has 105 projects on Ravelry at the time of filming. And it's apparently rated very well for clarity. It's available in English only, so just one language. The size range goes from XS to 5XL, 9 sizes, and you will need between 416 and 1413 meters. I really like this pattern because it features that lovely scoop neckline, which makes it really flattering for anyone. And I think the alternating of the single crochet and double crochet, so it creates a really lovely texture. Doesn't make it the usual crochet texture, it makes it really interesting. And yes, I really like this one again. And yes, the fabric looks different, really interesting. I love the look of the carefully designed shaped armholes there. So the construction is worked flat from the bottom up in back and forth rows, and the stitches used are just single crochet and double crochet. So this is generally beginner friendly. Pattern includes row by row written instructions and helpful diagrams and example photos to guide you. Definitely beginner friendly. Suggested yarns are all sport weight cottons and cotton blends, so cotton bamboo will be perfect for it. And it's, yeah, I think it's something I've added to my list. It's something that might work very well for my yarn. Last pattern, so the last one, just stay with me a little bit longer. The pattern 14 is the Smile Tee by Vanessa Pellisa. This is really special. I think it's lovely. Again, it's fairly new, March 2026, and it retails for €9. It's available in English and Spanish, and it comes in 9 sizes. Designed to be worn with 4 to 7.5 centimeters of positive ease, and you will need between 690 and 1400 meters depending on the size you choose. And you might want to do it as the sample in a main color and a contrast stripe color, which is going to be a thinner stripe. And this would really work really well with my yarn, because that's what I intend to do, because I have more of the red and much less of the green, pale green. And so far you have 15 projects, and I think this is another one that has that day-to-day feel that people are gonna like. I definitely like it because of that. It's been shortlisted, so it's there in my shortlist. So this is another sport weight knitting pattern, and it was actually designed specifically for 100% linen, especially in particular 100% ecological linen Antigone by the Rerum Natura, grown in Normandy, so in France, and applies so the usual caveat about your cotton bamboo or any other yarn you want to use. Just remember, it's a different yarn, swatch, etc, etc. Construction is seamless top down with raglan increases, and it is worked in the round. The signature detail is these parallel stripes that are thinner than the main color, so they are a subtle, nice contrast. You have a choice of how you want to finish the neckline, either a decorative I-cord ribbon or a simple I-cord edge. So there's a subtle difference there, and both optional structure, so it's just literally a decorative thing. So you just choose the one that you like. It doesn't impact the structural shape of your garment. And that's it for today's episode. 14 patterns between knitting and crochet different levels, a beginner friendly to something a little bit more complicated. I really hope that you enjoy this little list, and I would love to know if you are making any of this. So please do let me know if you choose anything from this list or if you've already made it, and let me know in the comments. But also don't forget, you can let me know on Instagram too. So if you publish them on Instagram, maybe tag me there. I'm past.pearls on Instagram, so that I can see your beautiful finished objects. And then you can also get in touch on my email, past.pearls@gmail.com, or on Ravelry, Laura Past Pearls. One last thing, if you've enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing so you will see what I'm making next and you will not miss a single episode of my crafting journey. But thank you very, very much for watching today. I really appreciate every single one of you who come back to watch my video and put a like or maybe even comment. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here with me. And until the next time, happy knitting, happy crocheting. I will see you very, very soon in the next one. Bye bye.